Well, I mean, it's just broadly speaking, what's happening in the Virginia race is very, very interesting because the regime is seeing how mad the people are
Yeah.
for the first time in a way that's really got, the color out of their skin a little
And
bit.
I think it's very, very stupid, although I don't think they had a choice in alienating suburban white women, because that is really the swing vote. And they are very uppity and they do not like things that are upsetting their kids.
Well, I was told at the very beginning, right after St. Floyd perished, peace
Yeah.
be upon him, um, right after he died, I was speaking with a political scientist that I know through a friend. So I don't know this guy very well, but apparently he's quite well known in the field. And he told me that something like cultural revolutions tend to only get pushed back outside of militarily in one of two ways. And sadly, I can only remember one of the two, which happened to be that the one that I remember, though, actually, is one of those conversations like we're having where digressions happen. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if we ever covered the second one. And so, or I just forgot, but I'm almost positive I just didn't ever hear it. But the one was that when largely middle class parents realize that their children are at threat,
Yes.
that's the end. That's curtains for an attempted takeover, because middle class parents, what I honestly believe this. I honestly think the people that push ideologies like this, the totalitarian ideologies, are not totally in touch with how human beings
Wait, but
actually
let me
feel
just
and work.
interject to agree with you. This was Lenin's whole realization, because he
Yes.
constantly, the biggest enemy wasn't even the capitalists per se, but the petty bourgeois. They were the ones, the shopkeepers, right, who were the
Yeah.
big threat. We know the capitalists are enemies. They know we're their enemies. But these are the ones who are in our way from preventing a revolution from either happening or becoming fulfilled to the end, because
That's
of their
right.
stupid little morals and their stupid concern with their stupid family values. And they're the real villains in a sense for him. And
That's right.
he's agreeing with your contact.
Yeah. Exactly right. And so I don't think these people understand, though, the lengths to which normal everyday people will go to protect their children,
Yeah.
which will be to literally die for them. Like everything's on the table when you put somebody in that position. And to show up to, chant "Let's go, Brandon" at a school board meeting is not much of an outlay when
Yeah.
people seriously look at their children and the say mental and even physical integrity of their children's minds and bodies being on the line. You've now awakened a monster. And what is it in Virginia? The swing of the education vote alone was like 42 points or something like that. I mean,
Holy
just, and
crap.
now that's of course a very narrow subset of the voters. It's ones I don't know the definition, but I think it's voters whose lead issue is
Yeah.
education. And they swung 42 points to Youngkin. And this is already, I mean, I was in DC talking to some folks. That fact alone, regardless of what happens in the election tomorrow and in the middle of the night after, um, well,
Yeah.
what, regardless of that, has already sent a burning bright flare into Washington, which is, oh shit, America's mad about education. And it's going to be the issue. And critical race theory and whatever the social emotional learning and the pedophile stuff and the rape cover-ups. I mean, all of this corruption that's all easily tied back into theory is going to be at the heart of what's motivating everyday moms and dads and everyday voters. And so Washington's already starting to, I know they're already starting to reshape their strategies because of what's happening in Virginia.
Yeah, if it wasn't for social media, they'd be able to say with a straight face, and corporate media would repeat this with a straight face, that all we're doing is teaching young kids not to be prejudiced and to treat everyone with respect, regardless of the happen to be their skin color or national origin. And any attacks on this are just people who don't want their kids to learn not to hate. Like they would say, and you would hear this mantra probably repeated verbatim on every channel, including Fox, and no one would be the wiser.
Yeah. And from what I understand, to a degree, that was sort of the intended trajectory of this project. And I don't want to, toot my horn too much because, I think I've played only a small part in great deeds here. But from what I've been told by somebody who is in a position to know some of this stuff, the regime never expected that everyday parents were going to figure out what critical race theory was in time to fight back the way that they needed to.
And fight back this hard.
Exactly.
It's not like they're just sending a letter. It's like, oh, cool letter, garbage. It's like, no, we're actually showing up, which is somewhat unprecedented.
Yeah, to get Americans to show up and be politically engaged at the local level takes essentially an act of God or communism. And it turns out we have the second one.
Well, it's this, the specter is haunting America.
Yeah. I'm telling you, everywhere I'm going, all around the country, the parents are the backbone of a resistance movement that is going to be hard to deal with. They are angry in like every state I go to.